Out because he was born and raised here in Hawaii. His parents came over in the early 1800s as missionaries. Now, he grew up over on Oahu, speaking Hawaiian and English, and then eventually moved to the island of Kauai here. Now, he acquired beachfront property about 15 minutes out from where we're at, which is the Kauai Marriott, or Duke's Restaurant area, if you guys know where that's at, or Anchor Cove, Harbor Mall. And acquiring that beachfront property, guys, changes his life forever. His neighbor is a Hawaiian princess. Her name's Ruth Ke'eli Kolani. She spends her summer breaks here on the island of Kauai, but this princess is the largest landowner in Hawaii during that time. In fact, her main residence was in Kailua Kona on the Big Island, but she had land on every single Hawaiian island. Her land mass totaled about 9% of Hawaii, or 353,000 acres. Now, she came here again during the summer breaks, he found out that was his neighbor. More importantly, Princess Ruth found out that she had a new neighbor. They got to know each other, they hit it off right from the beginning, and eventually William Hyde Rice became her business partner. The princess could speak Hawaiian and English, but eventually decided that only Hawaiian is what she was going to speak. She wanted to set an example or be a role model for the children here. William Hyde Rice, again, born and raised in Hawaii, he picks up the Hawaiian language, he becomes a personal translator, offering his services. Princess Ruth takes him along. Wherever she goes, he goes, translating, doing business, but also being able to spend so much time together. Princess Ruth stays close with William Hyde Rice. He gets married, has some children, and the princess falls in love with all of his kids. Now, she did have her own children, guys, but they did pass away due to illnesses. She actually lost 2 of them before they even reached the age of 1. So very devastating for her. But having William Hyde Rice as a business partner and as a close friend, she gets to spend time with his kids, falls in love, adopts every single one of them, just like they're her own grandkids. Now, the kids fell in love with the princess, too. They said that she was a big sweetheart. Her heart was just as big as she was. They called basically she was like a big old teddy bear. I wouldn't say big. I mean, she stood 6'6".
Wow.
Yeah. Hawaiians are large people, guys, back in the day. So 6'6", very large princess, guys. But when it came down to it, who's going to inherit the land when she's gone? She looked to a family who she loved and trust. And it was William Hyde Rice and his family here. Also, she wanted to see those kids get some land when they're older. So 1872 rolls around, guys. The Rice family have 6,000 acres and pay $3,000 for it. 50 cents an acre. Now, the cool thing is that Princess Ruth actually needed money to kind of like show up her cousin. So basically, one of her cousins went out to Europe, England, and he learned out there that royalty lived in mansions and palaces. So when he came back to Hawaii, he built a palace on Oahu. It's actually still standing today. You can go and do sometimes they'll let you do a tour through it. But she wanted to show him up, basically. So she needed some help financially, close to the family. And then again, if they help her out, the land was there. So she gets the money she needs. She goes to the Big Island where she's from and builds her palace out there. But the funny thing is, she hated it. She didn't like the lifestyle that came with that palace. She preferred living in a grass hut and just having a simple lifestyle. So she put up a grass hut in front of the palace and stayed there instead. So in the end, the Rice family got the better end of the deal, I would say. Or the princess traded, 6,000 acres for a 3-night stay in the palace. But either way, guys, one of the coolest things about this Rice family is that when they purchased the land for the princess, there was one verbal agreement that they made with her, and that was that they would never develop this place and always keep it natural. So if you guys take a look all around you right now, there's not much out here. We got a few houses for the family members, fence line here for the cattle, and then a couple of zip lines further down the road. So for almost 150 years now, the family's been keeping this promise. We're in the late 3rd generation right now, and the family could have at any point, sold off parcels of this land and made a lot of money, but they chose not to. They chose to preserve what they have. So for me as a local boy, I love the Rice family, guys, because it's another big chunk of the island that'll stay the way it is, stay preserved, stay natural, basically. So I love them for that. But as far as how the family makes money, they use the land to make some money, but to do that without big development, they turn it ag land. So first thing they did was they grew sugarcane, 1872 to 1962. If you've heard of C&H Sugar, Keeper Ranch is a really big part of those guys getting started up. We provided sugar to C&H up until 62. Then we decided we're going to hop out of the industry and switch over to cattle full time. Do you guys see the cows back there?
Yeah.
All right, so the cows there, we got cows over there, we got cows further down the road. They're born and bred here on the ranch, guys, or bred and born here, and then they live out here for 15 months before we ship them out. They go to California, Washington, some go to Canada, and then from there they're stuck in feedlots and then auctioned off. So as far as cattle goes, I'll let you guys use your imagination on what happens to them once they're auctioned off. So maybe